When it comes to smokeless fire pits, there are two brands that everyone seems to know: Breeo and Solo Stove. In this video, we're going to compare their 24-inch smokeless fire pits head to head to see which one is the right one for you. I'm David Gafford, and this is the Barbecue Lab. Melissa and I believe the backyard is a sacred space where memories are made, stories are shared, and people come together around food and fire. We're here to help you create those moments by testing the best gear, sharing proven recipes, and showing you how to own your backyard. Let's start with a disclaimer. Both of these fire pits were sent to us to work with and evaluate, but neither of them came with notes or a script on what we can and can't say. This video is about our experiences with these pits, and we get to share our testing results with you to help you make the best decision with your outdoor entertaining budget. If that's the kind of video that you're looking for, let's dive in. We'll start with a walkthrough of each product, starting with the Breeo X24. The ring internal diameter is 22 inches and an outside diameter of 27.5 inches. The X24 stands at 14 3/4 inches tall, with a bottom clearance of 2 3/4 inches between the bottom of the fire pit and the ground underneath. It weighs in at 62 pounds. The Summit 24 is next with an inside diameter of 22.5 inches and an outside diameter of 24.5 inches. When the top ring is installed, the inner diameter shrinks to 19.25 inches wide. The Summit stands a little over 15 inches tall with a bottom clearance of 1.5 inches. The Summit 24 weighs 35 pounds. Let's go through some overall similarities. First, we have the overall size. Both of these pits are right around 24 inches wide. The Breeo is larger by 3 inches on the external width, and the internal width, including the ring, is larger by almost 3 inches on the Breeo as well. They're also similar in what they're made of. Stainless steel is found in both models. The Summit uses stainless steel, but we don't know the type officially. It doesn't say 304 stainless specifically on the website. I can't find any information on what kind of metal the attached stand is made from. The Breeo is made of 304 stainless and Corten steel. The X24 gets full 304 stainless where stainless is used, and you can also purchase a full stainless steel X24 without the Corten steel exterior for an upgrade. The Corten steel is designed to weather and take on a patina, and this is what ours looks like after about 2 years. Both pits are designed as smokeless fire pits. The Summit 24 air intake design comes through perforations on the sidewalls and a bottom panel that's perforated as well. Lots of air getting inside this solo stove. That air rises up the sidewalls, gets superheated, and then causes a secondary burn as it exits the top to eliminate the smoke. The air intake design on the X24 comes from slits underneath the fire pit to allow air into the walls of the pit. Air also comes through the X-pattern element in the bottom of the pit. Both of these models largely function in the same way to consume smoke with a secondary burn. Solo Stove and Breeo also have a limited lifetime warranty, and you can see the details on their respective websites. There are some differences of these pits as well. The Breeo weighs almost double the weight of the Summit 24. The Breeo is a heavy pit. We don't tend to move it around very often, and when we do, it's a 2-person job for the most part. To be honest, that's why we're back at the house filming this video rather than at the new lab, because the X24 is here and the Summit is just a lot easier to move. The Summit 24 isn't light, but one person can pick it up and carry it around easily. Cleaning the fire pit after a fire is also different. The Summit 24 has an ash pan that you can lift out and dump the ash once it's cooled off. Breeo doesn't use any kind of an ash pan system, and it uses a shovel to scoop out the ash. If you want to keep your fire pit looking new, you can always use some barkeeper's friend to clean things up, but we tend to let our fire pit look like a fire pit. There is also a significant difference in where they're manufactured. The Breeo is made in Pennsylvania in the United States, and the Summit 24 is made elsewhere. My guess is with tariffs causing havoc for any company that imports its products, the Summit 24 is made in multiple countries overseas, is what I guess at this time. There is a difference in durability simply because one has almost twice the metal and thickness of the other. Breeo is famous for their wood drop test where they dump logs onto their X series pits, and it just goes to show that they're built to last. I don't know what would happen to the Summit 24 if we dropped a bucket of 500 pounds of logs, but I don't think that it would fare as well. I suppose it's time to find a skid steer for us to use here at the new Lab HQ property, so drop me a line if you know a guy. When it comes to building a fire, Solo Stove has gone out of their way to make it easy. The new design of the Summit 24 uses a cone and lighter gel reservoir to light the wood. You can get a packet of lighter gel to pour over the cone. It runs down into the reservoirs, and as long as the wood is stacked around the cone, the gel will light the wood, taking the guesswork out of lighting a wood fire. The Breeo doesn't have a center cone, but I light fires by building a small log cabin with kindling in the middle. I will have the kids walk around the yard and pick up sticks, break them in short pieces, and load them in the middle of the logs with a couple of tumbleweeds underneath. If I need to make smaller splits, the kindling cracker makes short work of oversized logs. A quick light with a long neck lighter and the Breeo is lit. You can get 100 of these fire starters on Amazon for less than $15, and I'll link to all of that goodness down in the description. The Solo Stove Gel comes in a 6-pack for $19.99, which leads me to the question of the day. Solo Stove has made it easy to light a wood fire, but it comes at a cost of between $3 to $4 per fire, not including the cost of wood. Is the ease of lighting with this method attractive, and so much so that you think it's worth $3 to $4 every time you light a fire? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. The smokeless design is one of the defining factors of this style of fire pit, but that means that they burn very hot, which brings along a couple of problems. First, you can't touch either of these fire pits while they're burning. The outside will be hot enough that you'll burn yourself pretty badly. Solo Stove has an optional surround you can put around your pit to put some distance between your family and the hot surface, but Breeo does not at this time. For either pit to give you a smokeless fire, though, it's important to note that the wood needs to be underneath the upper air return holes. If you stack wood above that height in either pit, that wood will smoke. In our testing, both of these pits will achieve a smokeless fire. Now, I think the term smokeless is misleading since all fires have smoke of some sort. If you get these pits going with a roaring fire underneath the air holes and keep it fed, you can enjoy an evening around the fire without smelling like the fire the rest of the night. What you shouldn't expect is just lighting a few logs and keeping a small fire in these pits and expecting them to be smokeless. They're smokeless when they are allowed to function the way they were designed, and I don't really see an advantage in either design for the smokeless function. By the way, if you're getting value out of this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more videos just like this. If both are smokeless, then heat distribution should be another factor that we consider. We lit a fire in both models and asked Melissa to be our guinea pig, sitting around both while under a full burn. We wanted to test if she felt heat on her feet, shins, torso, and head, and here is what she had to say.
I have been sitting 40 inches from the Solo Stove Summit for 3 minutes, and now David is going to use the infrared heat gun from ThermoWorks to measure the temperature on various parts of my body.
Okay, we'll go for forehead first. 105. The chest area, we've got 92. The knees, we've got 90.8. The shins, 91.1. And the feet, 75.
I'm mostly feeling the heat in my face. I'm feeling it down my chest, not so much on my legs, not at my feet at all right now. It is, what, 55 degrees right now outside? Something like that, 55 degrees outside. So it's a cool autumn night. Now I'm sitting 40 inches from the Breeo, and we've set a timer for 3 minutes. Okay, I've been sitting in front of the Breeo fire pit now for 3 minutes, getting nice and toasty, and now David is going to measure my temperature.
Your forehead is 105.
Cheek.
Your cheek is 99.7. Your chest, 100.1. Your knee, 102.2. Your shin, 107.1. And your feet, 93.
All right, so those temperatures were higher than what we had sitting by the summit. And I do feel hotter than I was sitting over by the summit. And I'm feeling more heat lower, as the temperatures would verify. I can feel heat right now on my shins. I don't necessarily feel heat on my feet, but I do feel heat as low as like there on my shins. So pretty full coverage of heat.
The price of both 24-inch fire pits is $599 at the time of this video. That's the Corten steel version for Breeo and the Summit 24, both at just $1 under $600. That's the regular price, but there are always sales and discounts that we will keep updated down in the description below and on our website on the discounts and deals page. For example, we have a $20 off $199 purchase code for Solo Stove and a 5% off code for Breeo that you can find down in the description and on our website. If you want to save money on the purchase of either of these pits, we have got you covered. These days, a fire pit is not just a fire pit anymore. It's a grill or a pizza oven or a griddle even. There's surrounds to keep the kids away from hot metal or spark catchers to make sure nothing burns the deck, lids to keep the rain out, and more. Both brands have what seem like countless accessories that you can use with these fire pits. So once you choose your model, know that your birthday and Christmas list will always have something you can add on as you assemble all the options. I think the debate on which is the better fire pit comes down to a couple of elements here. First, I'm going to say that the Breeo is just flat out more fire pit, weighing in at almost twice the Summit 24. It's a tank, and that's something worth considering. The Summit probably wins the ease of lighting battle. If you truly want to just buy a pack of lighter gel and some perfectly cut firewood from Solo Stove, it's made for easy wood fires. The Breeo isn't hard to light as long as you follow how we did it earlier in the video. The central cone design does limit the size of wood that you can use though in the Summit 24. I think it's designed for wood that's a maximum length of 15 to 16 inches to fit around the cone and still fit inside. If you cut your own firewood, that's no big deal. But if you buy wood, you will be looking for shorter splits for the Summit 24. If you're like me and playing with fire is more fun than a chore, either can be lit with kindling and fire starters. My preference is usually to expedite the process with the grill gun, but I know that that's not for everybody. On the smokeless front, both achieve smokeless, but I think that that's a pretty even match. If made in the USA is something that you're after, Breeo is the company that you'd want here. While Solo Stove is headquartered in the US, their products are made overseas. If you're on a wood or Trex style decking, both companies claim that you can use these on that type of surface. If it were me though, I would further insulate both of these fire pits from flammable or meltable material by adding on something like the Breeo base. It keeps anything that falls out of the fire pit accidentally on stainless steel, giving you both a heat and falling debris buffer. You can get a spark shield from either company, which is also probably a good idea if you're lighting a fire on a flammable surface. For me, one major decision is how easy these are to clean after an evening around the fire. Neither one is difficult to clean, but the Solo Stove is easier with the lift-out ash pan. So, what do you think? Is it Breeo or Solo Stove for your backyard? Which one do you like better and why? Let us know down in the comments below, and let's talk fire pits and help people make great decisions for their backyard. Remember to check the description below for sales and discount codes for either brand. I'm David. Behind the camera is Melissa. We are the Barbecue Lab, and we can't wait to see you on the next one.